Hi everyone. Our next topic is principle of method of mixtures or principle of calorimetry. It's one of the very important topic in this chapter. If you are keeping a hot object near to a cold object, what happens? The heat energy transfer from hot body to a cold body till both attains the same temperature. Okay. So on the basis of that, we can state the principle of calorimetry as this is a condition. If there is no heat energy lost to the surrounding, heat energy lost by hot body is equal to heat energy gained by cold body. With a condition, if it is an insulated system or if there is no heat losses to the surroundings. Heat energy lost by the hot body is equal to heat energy gained by the cold body. Simply, if you get a question, state the principle of calorimetry. If you are writing only this without the condition, you will not get the mark. You have to mention the condition if there is no heat loss to the surroundings. So, this is the principle of method of mixtures, or we used to call it as principle of calorimetry. Now we'll see the mathematical statement of this equation. Normally all the equation we used to by heart, but here if you by heart the equation, there's a chance to make mistake. So just keep the logic in your mind and mention the data according to that. It's really easy for you to find out the answer, to make the equation and to find out the answers. Okay, just consider we have to find the equation is heat energy lost by the hot body is equal to heat energy gained by the cold body. But there some factors are there. We studied one equation, Q is equal to mc delta T. On the basis of this equation, we have to find out the left hand side and even the right hand side. Okay. So here, as an example, I am taking hot water and cold water. We are going to mix hot water and cold water. Okay. So, we have to find out the mass of the hot water, mass of the cold water, then temperature, initial temperature, then after mixing, how the temperature will be there. So, these are the factors we need to solve the equations. Heat energy lost is equal to heat energy gain. To solve the problem session, we need these are the factors. Okay. So, I am writing here as mass of hot water. You can use it as M1 or even to represent hot water it as H. Okay, M1 means simply if you mention M1, you will not get any idea when you substitute the values. So, write it as MH, hot water, or MHW, hot water. Now, temperature, initial temperature. We have to mention initial and final temperature. Initial temperature of hot water, that is equal to, we can take it as T1 or THW, hot water. Okay. Then, we need a value specific heat capacity of hot water. Whether it is hot water or cold water it is common. That is 4.2 joule per gram per Kelvin or 4200 joule per kilogram per Kelvin. Okay. So now specific heat capacity of water is equal to 4.2 joule, or just write it as C itself. Okay. So here we need the equation. So this is the first part. Heat energy lost is over. Now heat energy gained by the cold object. Now we will write heat energy gained by the cold object. Same way, mass of cold water, that is represented it as MCW, cold water. Okay. Then initial temperature of cold water, TCW. Okay. Then specific heat capacity. So So we will represent it as CHW and here it as CCW. Okay. Then we will represent the final temperature as T. I am simply marking as T because both it is common for here and here. Here also we will write final temperature is equal to T. So these are the data we needed. Now what is that? Heat energy lost is equal to heat energy gained. Okay. So this is the equation of heat energy. Now we will find out the heat energy lost by the hot water. Heat energy lost by hot water. Q is equal to how much? Mass M HW. Then specific capacity C HW. Now, how can we find out the delta T? What is delta T? Change in temperature. So it's not like that initial temperature minus final temperature. It should not be negative value. That means we are simply without the sign, we are taking the difference. Take the difference from big value to the lower value. That is a change in temperature. It's a hot water. So the initial temperature will be higher comparing with the final temperature because we are mixing up with the cold water. So here we can write it as T is the higher value. Write the higher value first as in the case of temperature. So here temperature of hot water minus the final temperature. So this is our first equation. Heat energy lost by the hot water is mass of the hot water into specific capacity of the hot water and the change in temperature. Or even in terms of M1, if you are using all one value here, we can write as M1, C1, T1 minus T. Okay, so this is meant for hot water. Same way we can write it for cold water. Heat energy gained by cold water is equal to, or CW is equal to MCW CW, and here which is a bigger temperature, final temperature, because it's a cold water. So we have to write T minus TCW. This is our second equation. If you are using M2 for all these conditions, we will get M2 C2 T minus T2. So this is the equation for heat energy gained by the cold object. We can write it in the same equation. Heat energy lost by hot object is M1 C1 T1 minus T is equal to M2 C2 T minus T2. So this is the equation or according to the principle of calorimetry. In normal condition, we are using calorimeter to find out all these values. So there we have to consider the heat energy gained by the copper vessel. Okay. So copper vessel, I already told you that it is having low specific heat capacity. So there won't be much heat energy, but still we have to consider that. Then here if we are taking the hot water first and we are pouring the cold water, considering that condition. So we used to consider there also we have to consider the mass of the vessel, specific capacity of the vessel and even the temperature. So which material or which temperature material we have taken, the same temperature difference will be there. Just consider it is like the hot water we have taken first in the vessel, then we added the cold water. If it is like that, the temperature will be like T1 minus T. Or else if we have taken the cold water means we have to use the temperature difference as T minus T2. If we apply this in the equation, consider this as the third equation, we can rewrite the equation as these two part gained heat energy. So we can write it as M1 C1 T1 minus T is equal to M2 C2 T minus T2 plus this part is for copper vessel MC T1 minus t. So this is our final equation in practical condition. So for the problem session, we can use this equation. Any one factor will be given as unknown. So by substituting all of the factors which is given in the problem, we can find out the unknown factor. So please go through this portion thoroughly. It's one of the very important portion, and prepare well. Thank you.